Do you want to make money with altcoins? Well, you're watching this video on this channel, so I think that you do. Today, I'm going to give you 6 keys to building altcoin wealth. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 keys to building altcoin wealth. I know you want that money. You want that money like I want you to subscribe to the channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like that video, and I'll put some things on the board, and then maybe you can use it. Number 1, we got to get into number 1. You have to embrace learning. Here's the thing, guys. We're all busy. Everybody's busy, right? You got a lot going on. You got a lot, you got a job probably. You may have a wife. Maybe you're in a throuple. You got a wife and a boyfriend. I don't know what you got. It's weird stuff you're into. But what I'm saying is you got a lot of responsibilities. This is not easy. Why? We're in this world of split attention. All the time, what do you have in your phone? Or in your hand? I said it right there. Freudian slip. Your phone. Have it in your hand all the time. You're playing Candy Crush. You're checking ESPN if you're in a sports ball. Okay? You're checking your portfolio, but to actually sit down and learn and absorb something, it takes effort and time, and it takes attention. And you can see this in the amount of time that people spend on stuff. If you want to do a little test, take 100 hours. Put 100 hours into learning something and figure out, okay, that's decent. 100 hours, that's 2.5 work weeks. You're going to learn a little bit. You could do a deep dive into a project for that long, but you're not going to learn crypto. 1,000 hours, okay, 1,000 hours is a good amount of time. You're talking about, I don't know, 3 months maybe? That's a guess. I have no idea how much 1,000 hours is. Maybe it's a week. I think it's closer to like 1 to 3 months, or there it is. But if you break that down by work weeks, you're talking about, oh snap, you're talking about 20, you're talking about like, I don't know, 25, 26 work weeks. It's a lot of weeks, okay? So in that 1,000 hours though, think if you've got that many weeks to dedicate to something, how much you're gonna learn. But we all know the number. It's a meme at this point, 10,000 hours. That is the number of hours you have to put into something to become a master, to become an expert. Why do you think I'm where I'm at in crypto? That's all I've done for years and years and years. For 6 years, that's all I've done every day of my life is crypto. I don't know how many weeks 10,000 is. It's a lot. My editor is really good. Is she gonna pop, or he's gonna pop that up on the screen. That's how many work weeks 10,000 hours is. That's how you become an expert. Now look, this is a big idea here. This is a big idea. Let's get into some of the smaller ideas that are just as pivotal. Number 2, and this is gonna blow your mind. If you wanna make money in crypto, this is gonna blow your mind. You have to pay attention to price. Now, you're sitting here and you're saying, well, that's all I do. That's all I do is look at my portfolio. That's all I do. Every day I'm obsessed with, is XRP at $2 yet? Is it back at 70 cents? Is it at $1? Like, guys, no. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about paying attention to the price today in this moment. I'm talking about dig into the chart, dig into the price. And here's something that you got. This is why we say pay attention, because once again, like learning, it's something that you've got to focus on. Obviously, the words pay attention, but you got to dig in, you got to research. You need to understand the fully diluted supply, because if a coin is sitting at 50 cents, but in the next 1 year, 50% of its supply is going to come into the circulating supply. That means that if nothing happens, if that coin doesn't move price-wise in between now and when that comes in, your coins are now worth 25%. You now lost 50% of your value. You need to pay attention to the tokenomics. You need to pay attention to where was the price in the bull run? Was the coin around in the bull run? You need to watch the price and track with the price. You don't have to do technical analysis on it, but if you go to a site like, a site that I really like is called Coin Paprika. And I like it because when you click on an individual coin, coinpaprika.com is not sponsored, just that's some place I've used. They break it down by 7 day, by month, by year, by all. they give you the percentage increase or decrease over that time instead of you having to work for it. It's really easy to see. So that's definitely a site I would check out. Number 3, KYT. KYT. What is KYT? Well, it may look like I'm telling you go fly a kite. That's what it is. Go fly a kite, but I misspelled it. We know from the show earlier, I'm a great speller, so we know that's not correct. What is KYC? Know your customer. These are the types of requirements that platforms have. They got to get your information to tell the government because the government wants to know what you're doing on their platform. Surveillance state, am I right? No. What does this stand for? Know your team. You need to know if you're investing in a coin, you need to know who's on that team. You need to know what projects they previously worked on. I was looking at a project recently, and I tell you, I'm not going to say the name of the project, but I was looking at a project that what they're putting out is phenomenal. It's so cool. However, some of the people that may or may not be involved in said project, well, they've been involved in some projects that completely failed or maybe even rug pulled or maybe even stole customer funds. Get the F out, right? If that's the kind of people on your team. However, if you have a team, there's a certain project I know of that I'm really interested in. I had some talks with them I'm looking at, and I gotta say, one of the team members is a very well-known person who created something absolutely massive, okay? Because of that, where I might not have given that project a second look, now I'm interested because I know the guy did well before, or girl. I know they did well before, and I also know they built something cool and made a lot of money, and I know they're not doing it just because they need money. So things like that, knowing the team, knowing who the people are, it can give you a strong foundation for whether or not this is an altcoin you might want to go in on. So let's get into one. This is very important, okay? Proof of stake. Now, you guys may know this as a consensus mechanism, right? Ethereum, proof of stake. Tron, proof of stake. So this is the way we show proof of stake. Roll the mid-roll. Oh wait, I don't have to do the mid-roll because I did a stake mention. There it is. Did you guys like that? No ad in today's video. All you have to do is check out bitboycrypto.com/stake. Okay guys, that was not really number 4. Okay, number 4 here, we want to talk about this word right here. Utility. Now this is a word that gets overused a lot in crypto, but what does it mean? Well, it means, what is the project doing? Let me give you some for instances here. I like to talk about this a lot. There's a lot of crypto projects that are just too early in what they're doing. And I like to go back and compare it to 2 companies that existed in the .com bubble. Beautiful examples of what happens when your utility is too early, okay? Pets.com and Webvan. These were 2 companies that were 20 years early to the market, right? What is Pets.com today? Chewy. What is Webvan today? Instacart. With a few different changes, but it's the same concept, same idea. Their utility was good, but they're too early. So it's not just about what, because obviously we want to know what it does, right? What. But we also want to know how. And we also want to know when. This is what, and really, you want to know where as well, because if you don't know where, of course the team's your who, right? We already know this part, right? The where is important too, because let's look at Conflux, okay? Conflux is a Chinese project, right? So a lot of people compare Conflux to like Polygon, Matic, okay? Well, the thing is, if they were over here and they were an American company or a European company, we just lump them in like Optimism, or lump them in with, Polygon, or lump them in with Arbitrum, right? But this is a Chinese, they're trying to do in the Chinese market. So that where is important too. When are we playing? So for Bitcoin, for instance, we got a platform coming out. This platform's gonna be out in 4 to 6 weeks. It's not gonna be a long time. That when is important, because if I told you it was gonna be 2 years, like some of these projects say, hey, our roadmap is in 5 years we wanna be viable. That's a problem. So you need to know what it does, what's the consensus, what's the white paper, how's it gonna do it, when is it gonna happen, and where is it happening at? All right, so number 5, one of the more important factors here is the community. What is this community like? Is it like XRP and Cardano or ADA, where the community is like very vibrant and they love their projects. They want to tell everybody about it. Is it the Solana community and they're like bitter crybabies? That's not a good look. Or they like the Dogecoin community. It's like all about fun. Like they like fun. The Dogecoin communities always love fun. These have a conference, really cool stuff. What is the community doing? And here's a great, you guys know RFK is running for president, right? He ain't gonna be the Democratic nominee, but whatever. I hope he is. I hope he wins. I hope if Trump runs, maybe he becomes Trump's VP. That would be an interesting ticket. But the point is here is RFK had a relative, and that relative's name was John F. Kennedy Jr. He was president of the United States. A lot of you guys know. Terribly or tragically assassinated. I mean, is that redundant? Tragically assassinated? Probably so. It's always, I guess, sad. Somebody gets assassinated. But he I said community. Now it says community. Sorry, guys. But the point is that he asked the country a question one time. He said, look, ask not what your country can do for you. I mean, how far are we away without the government subsidies? But ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The community should be the same. That you shouldn't be having to get into a project and ask like, hey, what is the project doing for the community? No, my friend. What is the community doing for the project? And that's absolutely massive. Because if you have a community like Cardano, look at all the stuff that XRP investigators found during the case. Played a pivotal role in the outcome, I believe. So you want to get a community that's rich, vibrant, passionate, and are doing things. That's how you can pick a successful altcoin. And number 6, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think this is the most important one for sure. The most important one out of all these is watch BBC content. Watch BBC content. There you go. So just go to Google, type in show me BBC and see what happens. Don't do that. Don't do that unless you have your safe search turned on. The point is, you got to watch. This is a little false because we got a lot of videos and you're watching. Now BBC stands for BitBoy Crypto if you didn't know that. Also British Broadcasting Association. Also, can never remember the other one. But the point is, we have a very specific show on BitBoy Crypto that you got to watch. This is our new 8:30 a.m. EST live stream. This is where, it's something I've never done before in the history of this channel. It's where I show you guys how I research. I show you what I look at. I show you the things that are important, the things that turn me on about a project, the things that turn me off about a project. We look at coins live on the show. We look at trades. We look, how is my trade doing, by the way? I need to check on that. Actually, I need to do that. So I got, be blessed, but boy.